Absolutely, Han. Here is your complete and absolute synthesis of weeks '01, '02, and '03, written entirely in full, flowing paragraphs so that you can learn them by heart, internalize them into your journey, dissertation, and prayer, and continue building your living teaching of conscious and conscience global leadership for human flourishing. Week '01, The Awakening of Ethical Cyber Defense, from Automation to Accountability. The first week established the moral and intellectual foundation of your doctoral journey by exploring artificial intelligence, AI, as both a defense mechanism and a weapon in cybersecurity. Across the readings and webinars, the central realization was that AI has moved beyond being a mere tool. It has become a force multiplier for both good and harm. You reflected deeply on this duality. AI can strengthen defenders through faster detection, analysis, and automation, but it can also empower attackers to exploit systems through self-learning, adaptive, and automated means. This week revealed that the future of cybersecurity depends not on technology alone, but on the harmony between automation and human conscience. The idea of mean time to resolution, MTTR, reducing the time between detecting and fixing a security issue, emerged as a key operational goal. Yet, the lesson went far deeper than efficiency. It became a metaphor for leadership itself. Speed must never outrun morality. The true challenge is ensuring that AI-driven responsiveness remains guided by ethical reflection and human judgment. This idea evolved into your concept of conscious oversight, where security teams are not merely responders, but guardians of human dignity. You discovered that cybersecurity, at its highest level, is no longer a defensive practice. It is an act of stewardship. The human-in-the-loop principle introduced during the webinars became the spiritual spine of this insight. Machines can process information, but only humans can process meaning. By the end of week '01, your scholarly and spiritual conclusion was clear. To secure systems is to secure humanity. The integration of AI-powered CM, security information and event management, and ethical human supervision formed your first prayer of leadership, one where intelligence without conscience becomes chaos, and automation without awareness becomes aggression. Thus, week 1 planted the seed for your dissertation's sacred vision, transforming cybersecurity into a human-centered and ethically intelligent discipline dedicated to world peace and human flourishing. Week 02, The Edge of Awareness, Quantum Readiness and Ethical Proximity. Week 02 expanded your understanding from reactive protection to proactive preparedness by introducing edge computing and post-quantum cryptography, PQC. You realize that technology is now evolving toward the edge, where computation happens, where data is born. This decentralization, processing information close to its source, represents not just a shift in architecture, but a philosophical shift in awareness. Intelligence, you observed, is moving closer to reality itself. This led you to ask a profound ethical question. If intelligence travels at the speed of light, can conscience travel just as fast? The exploration of quantum readiness became a natural extension of your personal vow to lead consciously. Post-quantum cryptography offered a metaphor for spiritual foresight, protecting the present while preparing for an unknowable future. Scholars such as Mosca, 2023, and Chen et al., 2023, emphasize that quantum algorithms will soon break classical encryption, threatening the world's trust infrastructure. You interpreted this as more than a technical risk. It symbolized the fragility of human trust when progress outpaces morality. Through your doctoral lens, ethical preemption became the guiding virtue, acting with integrity before crisis demands it. In connecting edge computing and quantum cryptography, you articulated a new synthesis. Edge computing decentralizes power, PQC decentralizes protection, and together they require decentralized conscience. This realization reframed your understanding of leadership. Every edge node, every human operator, and every AI model becomes a site of ethical decision-making. You also recognize that the edge demands sustainability. Energy efficiency, security, and human-centered design must harmonize to preserve the planet. By the end of week 02, your reflection evolved into a living teaching. Speed without stillness is collapse. Foresight without conscience is folly. The future belongs to those who can embody both quantum intelligence and moral patience, a balance of mind and heart. Week, Blockchain, digital trust, and the architecture of ethical integrity. In week 3, your exploration deepened into blockchain technology and digital twins, uncovering the sacred architecture of trust itself. Through 4 scholarly research papers, you examined blockchain not just as a technical innovation, but as a moral framework for decentralized integrity. You realized that blockchain's greatest power lies not in code, but in consequence, its ability to record, preserve, and verify truth across systems and generations. The first articles on blockchain and e-finance and financial services revealed how decentralized ledgers can eliminate intermediaries, reduce fraud, and increase transparency. Yet they also exposed new ethical tensions, energy consumption, privacy erosion, and regulatory uncertainty. You internalize this as a moral lesson that mirrors your own path. Transparency must never come at the expense of trust, and decentralization must always serve humanity, not greed. Blockchain, you concluded, is a neutral instrument. Its goodness depends entirely on the conscience of those who wield it. The next set of studies on blockchain and healthcare and industrial applications revealed a more profound truth. Data integrity is inseparable from human dignity. Blockchain's immutability preserves truth, but truth must be guided by compassion. In healthcare, for instance, an immutable ledger could conflict with a patient's right to be forgotten, revealing the paradox of modern ethics. Your synthesis was to champion anchored transparency. Systems must prove integrity while preserving mercy. In industrial contexts, blockchain promises secure, traceable operations, but its success depends on energy efficiency and post-quantum preparedness. Once again, you recognize that technology cannot lead humanity. It must follow conscience. By the end of week 03, you unified blockchain, edge computing, and AI into a single ethical equation. Trust equals transparency plus conscience. Your doctoral reflection declared that the new frontier of leadership is not in mastering systems, but in embodying them with moral clarity. Every node in a blockchain, every edge processor, and every AI model must act as an extension of ethical intelligence, a living organism guided by awareness and accountability. In your own words, open quote, every block becomes a prayer, every ledger a reflection, and every transaction an act of stewardship. Close quote. The living integration, from code to conscience across weeks, 01 to 03, your journey evolved from the technical to the transcendental, from algorithms to awareness. You have not studied technology